You think they'll ever make that villains park that's been rumored forever?
Let's hope. I hope it's full of Marvel and Star Trek or Star Wars. Sorry.
Whoa, boy!
I was reading something over here, and it just like.
Good thing we were recording.
That's the cold open now. Good job. Good job.
No, fuck off! Welcome to Bracket, the only show where we take a bunch of shit and face it off against another bunch of shit and see what the best shit really is. I'm your host, Cullen Jennings, and joining me today is John Abbott.
School's back in session, and I'm ready to never sleep again.
Don't forget about Jesse Knowles.
Hi, I'm Jesse Knowles, and...
Nice.
You know people listen to this, right?
Emmy-nominated creator of the Aquabats, Greg L. Mercer.
Hi, I'm Greg L. Mercer, and I got friends on the other side.
Oh.
Oh, you guys are mean.
So bad. This week, we have a special guest. We have Finn Hickey, who is a second-year animation student, and also a screaming skinless skull.
It's true.
So, this week, Best Disney Villain. Right away, in round one in Group A, we have Mother Gothel versus Hans. In Group B, we have Dr. Facilier? Facilier? Okay.
You have to have a little Cajun in your voice.
The Facilier with Gaston. We have Yzma versus Shere Khan. In Group D, we have Hades versus Captain Hook. In Group E, we have Scar versus Ursula. In Group F, we have Oogie Boogie versus the Queen of Hearts. In Group G, we have Cruella de Vil versus Jafar. And in Group H, we have Frollo versus Maleficent. All right, up first, we have Mother Gothel versus Hans. Who cares to take a stab at that?
So these are both sort of the, modern Disney villains.
New wave Disney villain.
Yeah, new school.
I mean, so Hans is the most recent. I mean, man, I get whatever. Everyone in the world has seen Frozen, so. But technically, Hans being a villain is a spoiler.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen Frozen, you should probably just.
Well, if you haven't seen Frozen yet, you probably don't intend to ever see Frozen. So.
Yeah. You're not going to be ruined by it.
Yeah.
True.
Cullen had a really good point that Hans is like the classic example of a heel turn, and that Frozen itself, pretty good allegory for pro wrestling.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Hans fits the face heel turn amazingly because he convinces the one character to go out of the way completely, and then all of a sudden, for his own selfish reasons, just quick turn. You don't see it coming, even though most people kind of saw it coming. Still, quick turn, and man, hit her with a folding chair.
Well, I think, I mean, Jesse and I talked about this a little bit before we started. And I think, Jesse, you're not a big fan of Hans, and I kind of get that. Like, in terms of if you put Hans up against these other villains, it's kind of like, all right. But I think I like that the villain in a Disney movie is just a scumbag dude. Like
right, a total piece of shit.
I'm a Hans vote. I like Hans a lot more.
Oh man, see, okay. Go ahead.
Is anybody going to talk about Mother Gothel though?
Mother Gothel, I think is great. I mean, both these villains are kind of about abusive relationships.
Yeah.
And Mother Gothel, both of them are controlling. Mother Gothel is so manipulative, and I'm Mother Gothel vote.
I'm also a Mother Gothel vote because John did mention this. I'm not that big a fan of Hans. I do like the fact that the villain is just this scumbag, but also I think he's the weakest part of Frozen. And right around the time where they reveal him to be the villain is where the movie went from being really good to just, this is pretty good for me.
I'm a Hans vote because of the wrestling allegory heel face turn, 100%. And the whole time watching Frozen, we just talked about this. I was 100% sold on it being a wrestling plot line, every single bit of it.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Hans. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Frozen fan in general, but I think just as far as villains go, being memorable and standing out and being really hateable for once, I kind of like that you can just straight up hate him,
right.
Yanni. he has a backstory, and you can, oh yeah, you have brothers, I'm so sorry for you, no one else does. But
He's still a piece of shit in the end.
That's true. A lot of these Disney villains, the thing about them is that they're fun to dislike. I think Hans is someone that everyone can just get behind as like, wow, you don't even deserve anyone's attention.
Yeah.
Right.
it's like as much as it's really important to have villains who are like fleshed out and you understand their motivations and you don't entirely hate them, you understand why they're doing what they're doing. Sometimes you just want to hate a guy.
Yeah, no, you're man.
Especially when it comes to something as pure as Disney.
Well, I think Frozen especially works really well with that because you're like, I don't want anything to come between these two sisters. They're great. And this guy is just like the worst thing. I will say both these villains, great hair.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on.
All right. So Hans moves on 3-2. We have Dr. Facilier, a.k.a. the Shadow Man, versus Gaston.
So this is my shameful admission. I have not seen Princess and the Frog, and I feel bad about it. I want to see it.
I like it a lot. I think it's a movie that had a pretty mixed reaction.
Huge fan over here. Huge fan.
Yeah, I really liked it. They definitely built up Dr. Facilier in our minds. I personally think he's a little bit of a disappointment.
Being called the Shadow Man, you expect a lot more out of that.
And the thing is, he's not a villain who is in control. Like, he's subservient to this vague other side spirits thing. I will say, though, he has a very effective moment in the movie where he has I don't want to. I guess I can spoil.
You can spoil these. These are Disney movies. Yeah.
I personally don't mind if he spoils them.
He crushes a little bug friend that is like the best character in the movie, and like there's a character death. Like the little bug that everyone loves and is voiced by the Winnie the Pooh guy gets crushed by this guy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want that at all.
Someone else talk about Gaston. I don't know how to handle Gaston.
No one can do anything like Gaston.
Right. No one's quick as Gaston. No one's slick as Gaston.
It's like that song.
Right. He has a song in the movie where he talks about how he is better than everyone else at everything.
And
he
here's
is.
The thing. He is that guy. He is the best person ever.
I kind of want to vote Gaston just because I think there's a lot that's hateable about him. He's like, the whole point of the movie is that he's misogynist, and he's like, women shouldn't read books. That's dumb. And he's like funny to watch, and he's so over the top that people don't enjoy him, and that's the point of the movie is that like don't be like this guy.
Yeah, don't be this sleazeball.
He has Gamergate t-shirts.
If we're gonna talk about, we did mention his song. I think I like Dr. Facilier's song better.
Right.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's so
Great
good.
song.
And it's beautifully animated too. Like they both, but that one.
Yeah. Since we're basically spoiling things in Princess and the Frog, he does, crush that little bug friend. I also happen to really, really like there's a scene near the end where,
the dream sequence?
Yeah, the dream sequence, yes.
Yeah, that is a very, very good, that, like, just in terms of films, not even, like, animated films or Disney movies, that is a very, like, well staged and executed scene.
For me, I didn't want, it didn't build me up. Like, for me, the name Shadow Man doesn't build anything up for me, because anytime anyone uses shadow in any sort of context, I just like roll my eyes and go, oh.
He's a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan.
A black Sentai suit.
Yeah. But he's just a lot of fun on screen, and I know everyone loves Gaston, but I'm a Dr. Facilier vote.
I don't know what I want to vote yet. Somebody else go.
The asshole that Gaston is, him being such an asshole. I mean, he wants to kill, Beast aside, he wants to kill technically another man. And he makes up this horrid story about her getting kidnapped and everything when, everything went down.
She is kind of kidnapped.
Yeah. Which, hey, Beast, come on, man. Come on. Like, don't be a jerk.
I just want to say, Cullen, you're on record in this podcast as saying that you would fuck Beast. So
I would. And Gaston is very against it, which makes him a really good villain. Because I could not fuck Beast. And so Shadow Man means a lot to me, and I think you're right. I think at the end, I think that it was kind of a letdown as a character.
They really made him seem like he was going to be top of the line Disney villain. I think he falls a little short of it.
Shadow Man, and he was spooky. He was creepy. He was really good, but another character on this list is much more spooky and creepy than he is.
You're a Gaston vote.
I'm a Gaston vote, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to be a Gaston vote too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Facilier as just a character in general, and especially a design, I think would be my favorite. But I always go into Beauty and the Beast like only hazily remembering a VHS, so I'm never quite sure Gaston is going to be as bad as he is, and I just get as like more and more infuriated as the movie goes on, and I want to punch that guy and break all his eggs. So I think he's a more effective villain for me.
It's weird. I've been talking down Dr. Facilier, but I'll throw in my vote for him because I don't know. I don't have as much fun, I guess, with Gaston as everybody else does.
Well, I sort of have to recuse myself, but since that's not an option, I have to be a Gaston vote because I haven't seen anything else. So
Gaston knocks out Dr. Facilier, a.k.a. the Shadow Man, 3-2. Up next, we have Yzma versus Shere Khan.
Wait, I have a question. Was Gaston his first name or
it's all names?
It was
like
his
Madonna.
Name,
It's like Madonna. It's a one name. You don't fuck with Gaston. You don't ask Gaston what his name is.
His name's
Gaston.
actually Gatsby Tonington.
Okay, let's move on. I just needed to know. I was hoping for a real answer, but
so yeah, Yzma versus Shere Khan.
So someone talk about Shere Khan because I have seen Jungle Book, but it's been forever.
Yeah.
Shere Khan is like kind of interesting. Shere Khan's like this menacing presence throughout the movie. Like Shere Khan gets mentioned a lot. It's kind of like the threat through the whole time of the movie. And I don't remember if Shere Khan was like tied to Mowgli being separated from his family. That might, but Shere Khan is this big, massive tiger. It is one of the best like tiger designs. It's
it's the one that's duplicated like 1,000 times over now.
It's definitely become Disney's go-to. Oh yeah, tiger that we did. Like all the other animals are trying to protect Mowgli and keep Mowgli away from Shere Khan. He's kind of a Scar light, if I'm gonna be totally honest, in my opinion. And then there's Yzma.
Yzma cracks me up.
Yzma is funny from beginning to end.
Yzma's perfect.
Yeah. Yzma's pretty fantastic.
Yzma's the villain, but she's my hero.
She's a role model, really.
Yeah.
Yzma basically trained Krunk into being Krunk. Yzma just rules.
She's just very spiteful and like petty, and that's what I want out of everything.
And she's damn persistent.
Yeah, I'm coming in early as an Yzma vote.
Are we all Yzma votes?
I think maybe.
Yes.
Yes. We can talk about her later then. If she's gonna sweep right here, we can talk about her later. So
yeah. All right, Yzma sweep.
Sorry, Shere Khan.
That's 5 votes to nothing. We got a first round sweep for Yzma. So up next we have Hades versus Captain Hook.
Okay, so one of these two is voiced by James Woods, which means I'm voting for that one. Okay. If both of them were voiced by James Woods, this would be tough.
I think this is a tough call because these are both like your more comedic takes on Disney villains.
Yeah.
And boy, as a little kid, I sure did have a fun time watching Captain Hook get chased around by that alligator. Crocodile? Alligator?
I think it was alligator. Was it crocodile? It might have been a crocodile. Crocagator.
Yeah, it was probably a pun on crocodile, like clocodile. Because it's a clock.
That makes sense.
Why did it have a clock in it?
I don't know.
Hades, Lord of the Underworld, brother to Zeus. A weird kind of like Jewish thing going on.
Yep. Yeah, it's James Woods.
I know, but it still strikes me. I think it's a strange. I think it's a little weird to. I don't know. In a Disney movie, I think it's a little strange. It's funny, I guess, but.
I like Hades a lot because I love the design. I love the color scheme. He is a really rare example of a comedic villain that is also like genuinely scary sometimes.
He has the way they animate him at some points actually is like a scary moment. Like yeah.
He eats worms.
Yep.
God, he loves worms. Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, Captain Hook probably isn't eating much better.
He probably has scurvy.
He's not doing too well in general.
Are we a hand?
I gotta ask: are we bringing up the villain's sidekicks? Is that like off the table for this?
I mean, I think as far as the full villain aspect, yes, but I think you can mention them. I don't think that's a problem.
Both these villains have great bumbling sidekicks. You got Smee on Captain Hook's side, and you have Panic and Pain on Hades' side. And boy, I love Panic and Pain.
Bobcat Goldthwait is in this movie.
It's true.
What a saint!
Man, I don't feel like I'm giving Captain Hook a real chance, but I think I'm gonna come in as a Hades vote.
Having rewatched Hercules recently, I really like that movie. I'm gonna vote.
It's really good, and people were not excited about that movie when it first came out.
That's a shame.
Yeah, because it's beautiful, but people were like, "This is not Disney," so they didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's the most underrated Disney movie because I think that probably goes to something like Hunchback or something. But I think it is drastically underrated.
I'm gonna come in, also as a Hades vote. James Woods.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hades. Honestly, I don't remember much of Peter Pan, and Hades I remember so vividly. Like even if I ignored the rest of Hercules, Hades would stand out. And what I remember of Captain Hook is there is like a recently made like CG animated Tinkerbell movie with like a pirate fairy and Tom Hiddleston voices Captain Hook.
The commercials.
I watched the whole thing.
Oh Lord!
I don't know why.
Do they still have that weird, like, fluffy, crazy animal hanging out with Tinkerbell in those movies?
I think it's just the fairy, or it's like a group of fairies now.
Yeah, it doesn't even focus on Tinkerbell. It's like this other one I think was voiced by Christina Hendricks.
Okay,
yeah,
that got my attention.
That was why I watched it, and it's just this weird fairy who's a pirate, and I don't even know.
Disney's wild.
Oh, and it's all about like getting a different kind of like colored pixie dust or something. This isn't about Captain Hook.
So this is drugs.
We need
that. About drugs.
We need that black tar pixie dust.
So looks like Hades also sweeps in the first round, setting up a crazy round 2 for that matchup.
Oh, I hope there are AMVs of that.
Oh. All right, guys, we have Scar versus Ursula.
This, I think other people won't have a problem with this one. This one's really tough for me.
I don't know. Do we need to talk about these? I think people know these villains.
Ursula's from Little Mermaid. Scar is from Lion King. Ursula steals Ariel's voice. Scar murders the king.
Worse than the other.
I think I'm a Scar vote. But I do want to say that when I was very young, Ursula was the first villain to scare me as a little kid. Like to the point where I would run and hide when that like VHS was on. Something about her like growing giant at the end was really terrifying.
Yeah,
to me.
That last scene with her is pretty unnerving.
I think I have to go to Scar vote. I think he is a very good mixture of a villain that makes you laugh, but also you feel is actually a threat to what's going on in the movie. I'm Scar vote.
I am a Scar vote as well. He's got this really great mix of being menacing and manipulative, but also cowardly.
They did steal from Hamlet.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's a Hamlet.
That's a plus.
Yeah, I'm a Scar vote.
I'm going to go Ursula. So The Lion King occupies like a weird place in my timeline because my Disney movie that I wore the tape out on was Aladdin, and Lion King was my brother's, and I was just at that age where like it was getting to be annoying. And I looking back, love Lion King, love it, but I heard Be Prepared probably 7 times a day for like 2 years straight. And I really like Little Mermaid. I think Ursula's a real cool villain, and I like Flotsam and Jetsam, so I'm an Ursula vote.
Oh, that's the eels' names?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize.
I love Ursula's design. I think as someone who purely hates mermaids of all kinds, I really absolutely love Ursula's design. I think, and Greg said talking about his brother become that age when I'm old. So I was in school at this point when this movie was being played all the time.
You saw Snow White in theaters.
Fuck off. Yes. So I remember that, like, that was the movie, though, like, this is before Aladdin, before Lion King and all that, like, and it was like, that's a girl's movie. And there was a weird, like, I'm going to go out and play out in the dirt. You know, I was a little kid. Like, I didn't know. And then I remember.
You can't play in the dirt if you're underwater.
True. And I remember in this classroom, like, we ended up watching it again, like, a month later or something. And, like, all the boys were like, I'm still going to play in the dirt. And I ended up watching it. I just loved the movie. And I just really like Ursula. That being said, counterpoint, Greg, scars, be prepared. Yes, our teeth and ambitions are bare. Be prepared. So I'm a Scar vote. Easy Scar vote.
All right.
I get him. We hung out, like.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Scar. It's really close, but Scar. Like, I love Ursula's design so much, and I never really got, like, the different designs of different, like, animals, I guess, as a kid at least, so I wasn't really, like, scared. It was just like, oh, that's a cat. But as much as I do love Ursula visually, Scar's villain song just beats hers for me, and they're both great, but Be Prepared I'm never prepared for it.
These might be the two best voices in the bracket.
Yeah,
Scar and Ursula.
pretty amazing.
So Scar knocks out Ursula 4-1. Up next, we have Oogie Boogie versus the Queen of Hearts.
All right, let's talk about Queen of... What is there to say about Queen of Hearts? I mean, conceptually, really, really cool. She's all right, I guess.
Oh, I like the Queen of Hearts. I love that her, like, identity as a villain is I'm going to yell at everyone as loud as possible until I get what I want. You know, how many people do you think died to the Queen of Hearts? How many people has she made their heads off with their heads?
A lot of people. There are a lot of headless corpse laying around in Wonderland.
Oogie Boogie is the boogeyman.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty strong argument right there.
he's what is the... You know better than me, Cullen. What's the line? Is the shadow on the moonlit night? Is that his...
Wait, who? Oogie Boogie's?
Yeah.
Oogie Boogie has his own song.
No, but I mean in the opening.
He is the shadow of the moon at night. Yeah, and turns into bats. Yeah.
He's just got like creepy bugs crawling over him.
He's
and
made out of
everything.
bugs.
Yeah, he's made out of bugs and burlap, and he's just a cool design.
So they had a toy line originally that came out when this movie came out, when Nightmare Before Christmas came out. Like I said, I'm old. And all the figures, you know, were normal size figures, just like everything. Your Ghostbusters, your Ninja Turtles, everything was the same size. And then they had the Oogie Boogie figure, however, came in like a 14-inch box, and it was just massive stuffed animal with this plastic head. And you could pull them open and just spill bugs everywhere.
Oh my god!
And it was just a plastic crappy bugs, but everything glue in the dark too. Like,
I want that.
Right, and I've searched for it. It's like $100, $200 on eBay, and I can't afford that. But I'll just hand sew it at that point.
I just noticed like a gambling theme between both of these.
Yeah, both of them are very, very based around the casino in general. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I think the Queen of Hearts she straight up kills people.
Oogie Boogie
is technically like undead.
Well, I mean,
or something. He's made of bugs.
He's definitely trying to kill Jack in the end of that movie.
He wants Jack to be nowhere near being the king of Halloween anymore. So, and that's really the whole point, which is weird because he's like in little parts of the movie, and you don't think there's like a main villain per se.
Well, there's the
kid, Lock, Stock, and Barrel, which they're great, but yeah, I'm an Oogie Boogie vote hands down on this.
Yeah, I guess it feels a little one-sided, but Oogie Boogie is I'm an Oogie Boogie vote.
I also, putting this out there, you can hate me, guys. I really don't care for Alice in Wonderland at all. So
yeah,
I just think it's kind of boring.
The only thing that's not boring about it is I think Cheshire Cat's pretty fun, which is the reason why he's like the merchandise that gets made from that movie.
Yep.
It's really cool the first time you see it, and also
it's trippy. Yeah.
It's very rare that you'll ever see anything animated that just has those like black backgrounds with like spots of scenery in it.
Right.
and that was like a strange experiment for Disney to take. Yeah, it sounds like it's Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie sweeps the Queen of Hearts right off her feet into the next round.
We got 3 sweeps in this first round, everybody.
Yep. Next, we have Cruella de Vil versus Jafar.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's a tough one.
This is brutal.
Like I said, Aladdin was the tape. It's the first movie I saw in theaters. It's the tape that I wore out like completely. And I love Jafar. I don't know that Jafar is the best part of the movie. To me, the best part of the movie was always the genie. Jafar is pretty cool. Jafar becomes a genie. Jafar's got a lot of cool stuff going on. Cruella de Vil wants to murder puppies and wear them.
Right. Like, that might be the evilest thing
It's pretty
on this entire
fucking
list.
evil.
I gotta tell you, all you need to know about Cruella de Vil is watch how she drives. That's all you need to see is that like first scene of her driving into the movie. But Jafar does turn into a giant snake, though. Everybody,
And then a genie.
an all-powerful
hypnotizes the
genie.
king. He's done some sinister shit. Jafar has Iago, who's pretty great.
The staff itself.
Yeah, Jafar. Without that staff, Jafar can't do anything. Cruella doesn't need anything. I mean, she hires some goons, but
I mean, she's not going to
guess-
murder those puppies with her bare hands, is she?
You don't know that.
No, I think she would. I think Cruella de Vil would.
Oh,
She's going to
maybe.
use stilettos.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can just like, step on these
Oh,
puppy
boy.
necks. Oh my god.
I mean, but you got to remember that opening scene. Give me the lamp. The whole when he's the creep, or not. I guess the opening scene, the Aladdin scene where he's the creepy old man. Like, where Jafar is just totally made up this whole character just to get the lamp out of
Do you think that's what Jafar looks like without, like, do you think the Jafar we think of is him with, like, a back brace on and, like that's the disguise? The real Jafar is the creepy, smelly old man from the other scene?
He went to Sephora in between takes.
Yeah.
when you have crazy wizard powers, he gotta have some kind of wizard power, I guess. At one point, I don't know.
This is very hard for me. I'm with you, Greg. Aladdin was probably my Disney movie growing up. Now, when people ask me now, like, what my favorite kind of like older Disney animated movie is, I usually put 101 Dalmatians pretty high up there.
Yeah, I agree. Visually, that is an amazing movie, and I think Cruella's design is awesome too.
Cruella's design is great. Everything about the way that movie looks is fantastic. And Cruella de Vil, I love her song.
She's
that
like
Roger
this lanky,
makes for
super
her.
angular woman who has this massive fur and the cigarette holder and everything, and the black and white hair. And she's Ben Glenn Close.
I can't choose. I can't choose yet. I'm still gonna wait.
I'm a little biased because I actually grew up from middle school onwards with a pair of Dalmatians in my house. And I did grow up watching 101 Dalmatians a lot. I had a copy of that. Whereas Aladdin, I think I had a copy of. I didn't watch it that much. Real good. I mean, I like Jafar, but I gotta go Cruella de Vil.
All right.
Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie. Not hands down, not even close. Seen it probably 1 billion times, and Jafar is so manipulative and cool and creepy, and I mean, no, sorry, Cruella de Vil kills puppies. I get that, but we never saw her kill a puppy, so I don't know how badass she really is. She didn't go far enough. She didn't get to turn into a giant snake. She also didn't turn into a genie. So Jafar.
You're a Jafar vote. I kind of want to see Cruella de Vil versus Yzma. And I don't think it'll happen, but I'm going to vote Cruella de Vil anyway.
I can't go yet. I can't.
Finn?
I think I'm going to have to do Cruella de Vil.
Man.
Yeah.
I am upset.
I can live with that. I think that's fine. I'm not gonna throw Jafar a bone. I might go in with Cruella.
I am fucking furious! Oh my god!
Does this mean that Cruella de Vil is being a villain for you even now?
Yeah.
I hate her.
That's how good of a villain she is.
Now I legit hate her.
If they put her like
show.
if they put her in a new movie, you'd be like, she's really creepy.
No, I'd be fucking done with that movie. I would never see that movie.
The
Cruella
thing is
DeVille
that
knocks
Cullen
out,
also kills puppies.
Fuck.
So
Cruella DeVille knocks out Jafar 4-1 with some really bad votes. Frollo versus Maleficent is the next one, I guess.
Frollo's really good. Frollo has what a lot of people think is the best villain song in all of Disney. I'm a Maleficent vote. I don't have much affection for the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I only saw it once.
I think you should really give it another try, Greg. They had it. I watched it like a few months ago again. It's the first time I've seen it in a while, and I was very impressed by it. I think it
should have had that magic moment for me as a kid. Then that's its
but
fault.
I don't think it's a good kids movie.
Well,
I don't think it's a good kids movie at all. But I think now, like, I think that movie has the most complex Disney characters.
Does it have a lady that turns into a dragon?
No.
A giant snake.
Let me tell you this, though. Jason Alexander is a gargoyle that talks and sings.
All right, you've swayed me. That's a good point.
Frollo, I mean, people love Frollo. People love his song. It's a great song. And if he feels real to me, like the idea that here's this man who, like, is disgusted by his own, like, weird, creepy sexual desires for this woman that he also hates. Intense stuff. I'm an early Frollo vote.
Yeah, I watched Hunchback recently too, and I was really impressed. I think that movie does have some really weird big issues.
It
also has some of. Oh no, but it has some of the best Disney music I've ever heard, including his theme, his song, which is very, very, very good. Maleficent, I don't think I remember anything about Sleeping Beauty.
I don't want to. Maleficent's the best part of Sleeping Beauty, I think. And she does turn into a dragon that breathes green flames.
She is really fucking cool in the old movie, and I mean,
she got her own movie.
She did. She was so badass. She got her own movie. And Green Fire's pretty fucking cool.
And she was wronged by the fairies, which is her whole motivation and everything. Like, she's complex. She's cool.
Yeah. I mean, she seems like a really cool. I like her design.
She seems like a really cool person.
I'd hang out with Maleficent.
I totally would. If I get drunk at a party, she'd turn into a big ass dragon and fight whoever I want. That being said, I'm a Maleficent vote, hands down.
I'm stuck on this one. It's like it kind of comes back to what we were talking about like way earlier with Hans, in that like sometimes it's fun to just have like a fun villain, and I think Maleficent might be the fun option here. 'Cause she's like, hell yeah, turn into a dragon, fuck shit up. And Frollo is like, you think about his motives and the way he is, and then you kind of just stare down at the floor for a while, like, oh man, that's a lot to handle.
Yeah, he is not an easy villain to process.
Oh yeah, I'd choose to be in a room with Maleficent over Frollo, hands down.
Dragon Maleficent, even.
Yeah. Are you a Maleficent vote?
I think I might be a Frollo vote.
Ooh.
Oh, Frollo knocks out Maleficent 3-2. All right, we're set for round 2, which doesn't really make a bit of difference.
Wow.
No, that's not true. We have some really good players left in yeah, not the best, but we have some good.
All right. Cullen's got opinions.
Round 2, we have Hans versus Gaston. We have Yzma versus Hades. We have Scar versus Oogie Boogie, and we have Cruella DeVille versus Frollo. Up first, Hans versus Gaston.
This is Battle of the Sideburns.
Again, it comes back to this, just seeing Hans and Gaston's names together. I really want to see like a flashily edited AMV of both of them. I want to know that their love is true.
I want a whole like sitcom with these two guys.
These are the two types of guys that like get into like fights at bars. Like these, if you walk into a place and you ever like were in a public place and two people like these two were around, you would immediately want to leave. You don't
But see, here's the thing. Gaston picks fights in bars because he feels like it. Hans would get in a fight in a bar because he's spoiled.
Hans would be pissy about something. Gaston would do it just to be better than you. Like, if you fell off your bar stool, he'd be like, well, I can fall better and do the same thing. Like, you know, it's battle the assholes here, and I really think in the end, I mean, he wouldn't fuck Beast. And that really is the pitching point here. Gaston, man. Vote for Gaston.
Do you guys
so
think Hans?
Would Hans fuck Beast?
He would try.
If he thought he could get something out of it,
Yeah.
I think he would.
Yeah, he would try to make sure that Rose didn't wilt. Like, he would try.
Oh God.
I was gonna say that like where's the goddamn Rose?
Okay, guys. I gotta come in as a Gaston vote, because no one fights like Gaston, douses lights like Gaston. In a wrestling match, nobody bites like Gaston. So, like, Hans can come in and, like, be kind of a guy, and he's a dick, and Gaston's a dick too, but, like, Gaston's got biceps to spare.
Also, he bit a guy in wrestling. That's not allowed.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
That's villainy at its finest.
Do you guys think Hans even knows? Because Gaston's carrying around like a blunderbuss like the entire movie. You think Hans knows how to shoot a gun?
Like when it comes to actually firing a gun, he's like,
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
beforehand.
I think he thinks he's as good as Gaston, but he'll always, like, week out before, like, something will happen. Well, like, my arm hurts today.
Well, no, Hans would just sick his older brothers on you. He's that kid. He's like, my big brother's gonna come and pull down your pants, and everyone's gonna laugh at you. Like,
no, I'm telling you, his big brother is Gaston. Like,
Whereas, like, yeah, and like Gaston was like dying, and he's like, "No, I'm proving a point," and he
why didn't
died.
we ever get like one of those shitty Tumblr posts where like they're trying to show all these like connections where Hans is Gaston's younger brother? Like,
Yeah.
we
I
should
mean,
get all.
there's no proof he's not.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
There's
Gaston
no
wins.
way to know.
okay, you guys have sold me. I thought I was gonna be a Hans vote. I'm a Gaston vote. You've convinced me.
Hans has really no presence. I don't even want to give him the time of day. So yeah,
I would go that far. You're being way too hard.
And I like Hans, but not up against Gaston.
I think Gaston. Hans is just kind of a piss baby in comparison.
So Gaston sweeps out Hans 5-0 because no one's as good as Gaston. Yzma versus Hades.
Oh, man.
These two have like a bottom-dwelling lair.
These two should hang
they're
out,
both-
man.
They're both
Them
frustrated, eternally frustrated by everyone else around them.
I know everyone loves Hades. I think Yzma's funnier to me.
I don't know if she's funnier for me.
If she was voiced by James Woods, that would be interesting.
Right.
No, do not. No,
I'm not voting for that reason. I think I am going to go
Eartha
Hades.
Kitt. She's wonderful.
No, I know. I'm aware. Trust me. I am going to go Hades. This is a tough one. But again, I feel bad because I put Cruella through just because I like Yzma. I want to see that match. Something about Hades just seems really compelling.
It's worth noting for me that Hades does something pretty great in that I'm generally, when it comes to Greek mythology, I get really, really bored quickly. And Hades is... That interpretation of Hades is really, really fun, and I never got bored in that movie, and Hades was a big reason because of it.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, if you're bored by Greek mythology, Hercules is the best movie because it's not about Greek mythology whatsoever. I'm a hard Yzma vote. I think she is funnier. And Cullen, you wanted a transformation villain in here? She turns into a cat. So I don't know what you're upset about.
Lots of vials get passed around in that movie, okay?
I am the opposite with the Greek mythology thing. I love it, and I also love like anything that's like a loose modern interpretation of it, even if it's not like the most accurate. And saying that, I still vote Yzma. That is how much I love her.
Wow. It's 3-1 it's 3-1 in favor of Yzma.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm a Hades vote on that, so... I like Yzma a lot, and I'm glad she's moving on, but I'm a Hades vote. So Yzma knocks out Hades 3-2. So we have Scar versus Oogie Boogie.
Ooh.
Once again, fuck.
Yeah, this is like the toughest one for you, isn't it?
This is tough. If this was like Scar, I was planning on a Jafar Scar fight where I was just gonna probably just explode. Both of these are really tough. Come back, I can't.
I'm gonna come in fast as a Scar vote.
Yep.
I don't want to say anything else about it.
Me too, just because I knew a lot of kids in high school who thought Nightmare Before Christmas was pretty much the only movie.
That's really rude that you would talk about me like that.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Sorry, I'm just saying. I had a thing against Tim Burton for a long time because of it. So I am a Scar vote.
See, I'm trying to okay, how do these movies work on music? And they both have really great music.
Yeah.
I think, Lion King had Hans Zimmer, didn't it?
I think so. Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman, Jesse.
Fucking.
I think just my gut is telling me Scar. I tried to weigh them both, and then I remember Be Prepared and Scar.
Oh, that's a solid 3 Scar. So
That'll do it.
Well. Have we here?
That's 3 on Scar.
Santa Claus. Ooh. I'm really scared.
Oh my, so good.
I love Scar. Scar's probably my second villain, and I'm really pissed that he's up against Oogie Boogie. I'm an Oogie Boogie vote. I know he's out, but
Jesse.
I'll vote Scar.
Yeah, of course. Everybody hates fun.
I love Oogie Boogie. I don't
Scar
want to
too.
lose
Damn
him.
it. All right, so Scar knocks out Oogie Boogie 4-1. Well, you didn't even throw him a bone, man. That's fucked up. 4-1. Scar. Cruella de Vil versus Frollo.
No, I'm
Cruella.
definitely going Cruella. Yeah.
Cruella.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, Cullen.
I prefer 101 Dalmatians. I think that's my personal favorite of the movies. I think I would probably give my vote for a better villain to Frollo, but it doesn't matter because Cruella's moving on. So
yeah, I was also gonna go Frollo because of how killing puppies is pretty bad, but Frollo totally manipulates every situation.
I will admit, dousing revolution in a nation is also pretty bad.
Yeah, right. Cruella de Vil knocking out Frollo 3-2. All right, we're into the semifinals here with Gaston.
Oh boy, I don't want to go any further. Let's just call these 4 the top. And
we have Gaston versus Yzma and Scar versus Cruella de Vil.
Woo.
Gaston versus Yzma.
Oh boy.
I am an Yzma vote.
I'm positive I'm an Yzma vote. But should Yzma move on?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Jesse, that's your vote. You gotta make
Do we have to explain the rules of bracket to you, Jesse?
Jesse, do you think that Yzma should move to the finals?
Give me a second. I'm having a minor existential crisis here.
Man, we've only been doing this for 31 weeks. I mean,
I'm a Gaston vote. Again, no one's quick like Gaston, so.
I am also a Gaston vote.
So Jesse, go Yzma, and then we'll tie it up, and this will be super dramatic.
Yeah,
kind of feels like Gaston is like a palette swap of Crunk.
Yeah, I think she was like, "Damn, Gaston's really badass. I'm gonna get me one of them." And then got her a Gaston, but it was Crunk, and it's just like, fuck.
Man, I'm an Yzma vote all the way.
Wow.
There you go.
Even bringing Gaston this far, Yzma.
Yzma knocks out Gaston 3-2. All right, we've got Scar versus Cruella de Vil.
Oh boy.
I
So
love
Cruella de Vil wants to kill lions, or Cruella de Vil wants to kill puppies, but Scar wants to kill baby lions.
Yeah, can you imagine if she saw Scar? Imagine the coats she would picture in her head based on Scar's pelt.
And she would not get along.
Shit. That's a talking ass lion.
Maybe.
I am hard Scar vote. I can't not even close for me.
Thinking about it though, I mean, what we just said kind of convinced me in Cruella because she would destroy Scar. She would do anything it takes to get rid of him and then wear him.
Yeah, but she would also have to deal with all those badass women lions, and yeah, that ain't happened. The pride.
They're not gonna care about Scar.
They're gonna defend Scar.
That's true.
They're gonna encourage it.
But you got hyenas to worry about, so I ain't fucking with that.
Hyenas are just handbags to her.
Is he better villain?
I think the whole. I mean, those hyenas and Scar himself, they're all cowards.
They are.
Cruella de Vil could run them over in her car. It's like this big stretch.
See this, man.
Thing. She could just. I'm not saying I don't know when I'm voting yet. I don't know. As far this almost feels like the finals to me, to be honest.
Cruella de Vil just straight up was like, I got an idea. I want a coat. That was just her idea. Scar planned, articulated every single aspect of this, and then actually won.
Hey, she built an empire. She
Scar
is a fashionista.
won.
Yeah, if you think about it, Cruella's motivation is kind of cartoonish, whereas Scar's an actual.
I don't know. I think.
Yeah, Scar's just fake Hamlet's uncle.
Yeah, I think.
like he's a goddamn lion. Full grown.
Did Cruella sing "Be Prepared"?
I'll tell you this. I know for a fact that Cruella de Vil would not be afraid to go to an elephant graveyard.
Neither would Scar.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of his thing. But I mean, I'm saying like he couldn't keep her. He couldn't keep her out of an elephant graveyard.
But
I don't want to vote.
Everything the light touches can be made wearable.
make that into a shirt, Greg. Boom.
It's the whole thing of a fun villain versus a serious villain, and Scar kind of manages to be both. Like he is ripping off the whole Hamlet deal pretty hard.
Yeah.
But it's like he's, I don't know, to me a really good villain who's also a really good fun villain is almost automatically going to be better than a really good serious villain, just because they have that motivation and also they're just fun to watch. And Cruella de Vil is kind of more, I don't know, a little flatter maybe. So I think maybe Scar. Yeah, I'm going Scar.
Yeah, all right.
Cullen, are you your Scar? Is what you said?
Yeah, weird, right?
And Jesse? So it's down to John and Jesse. It's 2-1 right now in favor of Scar.
All right, John, I'm going to make this easy for you. I'm going to be a Scar vote.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I'll throw one for Cruella, but Scar moves on, I guess.
All right. So Scar knocks out Cruella de Vil 3-2. Moving on to the finals. All right. So we have the bronze match up first, though. We have Gaston versus Cruella de Vil.
Oh, boy.
Colin's going to be so mad at me. I'm coming in fast as a Cruella de Vil
Fuck
vote.
you. I'm a Gaston vote. Gaston!
I'm a Cruella
No
vote.
one can make a coat like Gaston. Gaston would not have failed at making a coat. That's fine.
Okay, in all seriousness, a universe where they're in love.
Yeah, why not? Make it happen.
Ooh.
He hunts the animals and brings back the pelts, and she makes them into coats.
Oh shit, yeah.
He's my Gaston fiction right there, but yeah, I get that.
I know, I gotta think about that one for a while.
Well, we'll make it easy for you. Cruella won. So.
Cruella has 3 votes.
Gaston, that'd be fine, but
Yeah, I think Cruella.
Yeah.
I'm so
This is not Cullen's bracket.
done with this.
Hey, Colin.
Opinions happen tonight. That sucks.
No one else belongs in the toilet water like Gaston.
Man.
Got him.
Cruella de Vil gets 3rd place, while Gaston is dirty toilet water. All right. So, the finals are set. It's Yzma versus Scar.
Couple of 4-letter words. Scar, right?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
that y'all let Yzma go this far, even over Gaston, but there's no chance. Scar.
He is very good at being conniving and all these sorts of. He is a prototypical Disney villain, and I think Yzma's a really, really cool inversion of a Disney villain where she's more hilarious and just frustrated with everything. But Scar is the archetype of a Disney villain.
I gotta say though, Yzma's more relatable of the two here.
Yeah, for
She
sure.
gets set down at that restaurant, and they give her that big old birthday sombrero and sing her that song.
I don't know. My brother betrayed me, too.
Remember that time Cullen let his brother fall off a cliff? That was fucked up.
Yeah,
No,
and
he fell by himself.
it's pretty messed up that you've got that little nephew wandering around now.
You
Cullen,
banished
who's
him from your house. That was fucked up.
Whatever.
Dude.
I'm watching him. I got dudes watching him. He's fine.
Yeah,
Cullen owns
I'm
3 hyenas.
One of them's Whoopi Goldberg's voice. It's
Fucked
weird.
up.
I'm a Scar vote, and too bad we didn't have a more fair fight. I mean, who knows? I don't know what the votes are gonna go, but I think Scar's the winner here.
I love Yzma. I love Yzma so much. But Scar he gets shit done.
Yeah,
He won for a significant amount of time.
he
Yeah,
rules
that's true.
Pride Rock for years.
I'm a Scar vote.
Wow.
Sorry, Yzma.
Whew. Proving that Scar is the best Disney villain. With a 5-0 sweep over Yzma, then we have Gaston and Dirty Toilet Water with Cruella de Vil taking 3rd place. Well, that's miserable, and I never get to talk about this episode again.
I feel
And
like
you guys-
Scar is a pretty good winner.
I'm really happy that Scar won because he's probably my 2nd favorite villain. So, but
Would y'all consider Yzma a sympathetic character because she has to deal with David Spade for a whole movie.
Yes.
I wish.
David Spade is the Disney villain of real life.
I'm mad at you guys now. Real mad. All right, let's take a look at the poll results for last week. We did best.
Best on-screen kiss.
Best on-screen kiss. Yeah. Okay. So
I haven't looked at these. I'm really curious to see what people voted.
So with an equal amount of votes, Spider-Man Kiss and Twilight tied.
Whoa!
Well, they're half right. Spider-Man is the best kiss, even though we didn't vote for it because everyone here is dumb except for me and Cullen.
Yeah. Lady and the Tramp was the second most.
Yeah, I'm surprised that did not go farther. That was a bad move on our part.
Brokeback Mountain and The Office received the next batch of votes. And then Gone with the Wind, Empire Strikes Back, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and Cruel Intentions all got some votes.
Did Black Swan not get any votes from the people?
0%.
Wow.
All right, well, y'all are messed up.
I was going to get really mad, too, that if Sleeping Beauty had gotten any, I was going to call everyone out. Sleeping Beauty is creepy. That is not a good kiss. That is wrong, and it is not cool.
Well, so's the Twilight one.
Yeah, that's hot. Thanks for coming on the episode today, Finn. Is there anything that any way the fans could reach you, or you got anything to promote this week?
Yes to both. I am on Twitter far more than I should be at twitter.com/dogcops. And I would like to shamelessly plug the game I am very happy to be a part of. dateordiegame.com and twitter.com/dateordie, which is a visual novel inspired very heavily by the early 2000s Flavor Flav based sitcom Flavor of Love.
Oh, yes.
That is the most important thing to know about it, I think.
I am
Besides
super excited to play
the
it.
wonderful characters and the good writing and the Flavor Flav.
All right, guys, you can find us at our website, bracketpodcast.com, and as always, at twitter.com/bracketcast, on Facebook at facebook.com/bracketcast, and on Tumblr at bracketpodcast.tumblr.com. If you like, you can subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast client you do use. Just search for Bracket. Also, please go and leave us reviews on any of the sites that you do use. We would really appreciate that, and it could help us out in the long run. So, we'll see you guys next week, and we're going to go yell some more about Jafar, because I'm really pissed off. I am hot.
Which one is Jafar? I don't even remember.
I am hot. He's a cobra! Turns into a giant fucking cobra!
Is he the one Yzma turns into an animal?
Doing a professional radio show on the internet.